I have been thinking a lot more lately about my big dreams. Like beyond just me and my life and the people that I interact with, but the difference that I am making to more people in the world. Do you have any of those? I call them change the world dreams. And I've been developing a program about how people can be more aware of and more in action towards their change the world dreams. So I have been thinking about this a lot lately. And I find that I am more present to my own change the world dreams, and I believe them more. You know, this whole thing about whatever you put attention to, whatever you put emotion to, you feed that and it grows. The presence in my conscious awareness of my big dreams is so much greater because I'm actually paying attention to it. What about you? What are your change the world dreams? Do you have big things that you want to accomplish? Now, I'm not saying they all have to be like worldwide things, but changing your life. Making a significant change in how you live your life, how you eat, what you do, what you move, the daily habits, that changes the world because it changes your life and you're part of the world. Your interactions with other people are going to change when you change yourself and what you do. Your relationships, your significant relationships, every significant change you make in those relationships is going to impact the world. What about your community? The connection and involvement you have with your community. That certainly has an impact. What about your country? The world. You have an impact on all of these things. You know, you've heard this, like the flipping of a wing of a butterfly has an impact all around the other side of the world. Energetically, everything you do impacts everything. So where you put your attention, your focus, and your action is going to have a very real impact on the world. So I am starting this Wanting Wednesdays, first Wednesday of the month, 12 o'clock Pacific time, this short conversation to get us talking about what is it that we want? What is that lasting impact we want to have on our lives and on the world? Is there anybody else interested in this conversation? I would love it if you would come to this space, to this page, this group, at this time, Thrive with Sandra Lee Group, and participate in this conversation with me through the messages. I'm not going to have you come in to meet with me live in the video, but you and I can interact so that you can be paying more attention to your big picture dreams, the things that you want, that can then have you be more in action, doing real world things, taking steps to actually change the world. And if you want to put in the comments associated with the announcement about Wanting Wednesday, then I can interact with you about that. Absolutely, you want to help make the world a loving, safe place for all people. What a wonderful intention. And Teresa can have that impact on the world just through her daily interactions. Who you see in the grocery store, at the gas station, the people who knock on the door for whatever reason to deliver packages. The way you interact with the world impacts the world. And it has you being more conscious of making a difference. That's what really matters. In your experience of making a difference, you realize that you make a difference, you have an impact on the world. Absolutely. I believe, that's one of my big dreams, that I am going to impact the government, corporate culture, the way food is produced, and the way healthcare is produced. Those are my 4 big areas. That is my big, big, big picture dream. to shape that. To have all of those levels of organization prioritize people, what's best for people, what's best for the earth, what's best for everyone. Rather than the power and profit motive that right now is what drives all of those institutions. Can I have an impact on that? I believe I can. Believing more, even more all the time. So you also have an impact in the world through what you do and say. The way you think has an impact on the world. So I encourage you to be more conscious and intentional about that and being able to make a difference. Whatever the way works for you, everyone has the ability to change the world through the things you think, the decisions you make, and the choices that you have, that you act upon in the world. Yes, loving each other is an active and possible action. Even if you're not doing anything physical any different, how I look at it makes a big difference. So, I'm going to keep this short today, but future first Wednesdays, we're going to have this Wanting Wednesday conversation. And if you watch this video and you want to put some comments in here, we can interact about that next month, the first Wednesday in April, when I'm going to do this again. So I encourage you to participate in this conversation with me. Why? Because it will have you be more aware of this in your life. And it will impact your thoughts, your feelings, your intentions. I know for me, it's like when I'm interacting with people, most of the time my natural inclination is to not reach out and interact with people. But with this intention, it's like, oh, you know what? I am actually going to start a conversation with that person. Get past that little bit of risk that it takes. Having this intention makes a big difference. So, thank you for coming and interacting with me, sharing, expecting your actions to affect others, whether they intended or not. Yes, by intending changes the whole context of how I interact with the world. So, I am Sandra Lee, an intuitive sound and energy healer. I help healers and coaches to recognize more clearly their change the world goals and to be in action towards those goals so that you can make a bigger difference, because that's what you're here for, to make a difference in the world. Thank you. Change happens one action at a time.